One of the biggest problems crypto will have has to do with a big word called interoperability. This means the ability of one blockchain to play well with another blockchain. Imagine if you had an Asus laptop, and that laptop could only connect to Asus routers, Asus USB connections, and they even had their own proprietary Asus HDMI cable. It would just be a hassle to buy all the adapters you needed to get everything to work. Well, this is the exact problem that crypto is currently facing. Welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, the #1 YouTube channel for crypto education, and here we explain topics of the cryptocurrency world using analogies, stories, and examples so that you can easily understand them. In this video, we are going to explain what xPollinate is, who created it, and a bit about the specific model behind it that makes it work. Alright, so see, Ethereum is quite slow at the moment, around 30 transactions per second. Something called secondary blockchains are created in order to trade some decentralization for scalability, because you're willing to give up some of your freedom to be able to process a transaction for less than a $50 fee. Long story short, to move in and out of these secondary blockchains, you have to use special tools. Many of these tools are good, but I have found one that is great. xPollinate acts as a bridge that utilizes a special protocol called NXTP, developed by the Connext platform. We'll get to both of these in a bit, but first let me explain xPollinate. So you know how liquidity pools are pools of money that hold two assets, and they allow traders to trade their tokens back and forth? Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely check out our video on it because it's super helpful to beginners. Anyways, what if we created a liquidity pool but across multiple blockchains? This way, you could deposit your USDC on the Polygon network and then ask for USDC on the Phantom network, essentially moving your funds from one chain to the other. xPollinate lets you do exactly this with very low fees and avoiding the hours and hours of waiting time that are usually required for traditional blockchain bridges. They're also better than atomic swaps too, because atomic swaps require finding someone else on the other network to swap your funds with. Connext has created a dApp that is better than blockchain bridges and atomic swaps, but there must be some risks, right? Well, there are two risks that exist, and it's not due to the platform, but there are risks on any protocol: user error and the possibility of a hack. Now, of course, xPollinate is open source, so developers constantly have their eyes looking for bugs. And to be honest, user error can easily be avoided through education. Now moving on, xPollinate is currently functional on a few different EVM-compatible blockchains. And if you don't know what that means, it means blockchains that basically copy Ethereum's virtual machine, and some examples of those include Optimism, Arbitrum, Binance, Polygon, Phantom, and xDAI, which are all very popular blockchains. I believe they're also working on expanding in the non-EVM blockchains and even DAGs, but that'll require a lot more time and effort before fully launching it. Also, at the moment, they offer the ability to switch USDC, USDT, and DAI across networks, which are all popular stablecoins, but they do have plans to move to other tokens as well. So now that we understand what xPollinate does, let's get into the network behind it, Connext. Connext is what is called the interoperability network behind the xPollinate project. In short, NXTP is the protocol, Connext is the network, and xPollinate is just one application built using the Connext network. So just like TCP/IP is the protocol, the internet is the network, and YouTube is only one application built using the protocol in the network. Hopefully you understood that analogy. The Connext network has been audited, they do not have a token, and they're certainly not an exchange. You know how earlier I explained xPollinate as a liquidity pool but for different blockchains? Well, when you send your Polygon USDC to them, they hold it. Then, they give you USDC on the Phantom network. At a later time, someone else comes along and gives them USDC on the Phantom network, and then the protocol gives them the Polygon USDC that you initially gave. So it's very similar to a liquidity pool. There are three big benefits that I see Connext offers in their network. Number one, they are trustless. With this big blockchain interoperability system, you don't need to trust a third party to hold your funds. Instead, you just trust the code to hold the funds that you give and to give you the funds that you want. Number two, they are quite flexible. So the protocol NXTP, that I'll talk about in a little bit, can be used on any EVM-compatible blockchain very simply. Most blockchains don't build their own protocol from the ground up, and since NXTP is, it's very flexible. And number three, low costs. Some other solutions will take your layer 2 funds like on Polygon and transmit data straight to Ethereum and then give you back whatever funds you want. In short, Connext does these swaps without ever touching layer 1. So the fees are very low, going from one layer 2 solution to another layer 2 solution. Next up, I want to talk about routers. So to save you some time, routers is what Connext calls their liquidity providers. You can actually become a router yourself, and you earn some of the fees that traders pay if you want to. Oh, I didn't mention, traders on xPollinate pay very small fees, and that fee gets paid to the routers investing their funds on the network and allowing users to swap their tokens across different blockchains. Generally, these fees are quite competitive, because to run a router you actually have to set up your computer to run some software, and as this process is a technical process, it won't really attract non-technical investors. At this point in time, Connext charges 0.05%, which is a very small amount, but much better than paying bridging gas fees. They say the 0.05% will change dynamically in the future depending on how many people are attempting each trade. Imagine if everyone is going from Polygon to xDAI. Well, there would be a ton of funds on Polygon deposited and not very many funds on the xDAI side to withdraw them from. They came up with a really creative way to solve this problem. Think about those scooters that you can ride in big cities. Most people ride them from point A to point B, drop them, and then never return them. Well, what if you offered free scooter rides from point B back to point A, so that these scooters would be returned for free, where more people could use them? This is the exact idea with the dynamic fee pricing. And one Connext dev that I talked to actually said you might even be able to earn money by moving funds against the current flow. Lastly, let's dig a little bit into what NXTP is. So as I said earlier, NXTP is designed to be the TCP/IP protocol of the Ethereum multi-chain ecosystem. It is a simple, fully trustless protocol that can be used for value transfer and contract calling between chains. I'm not sure how more people aren't mentioning this as an idea, but here's a great summary. The aim of Connext NXTP protocol is to be the interoperability protocol of EVM networks. So I love xPollinate and the work that Connext is doing, but listen to this. NXTP even has the ability to call contracts through its liquidity provider network. Think of it as a cross-chain meta transaction, allowing users to do things like send funds from Polygon that are in an Aave or Curve pool to a similar pool on the Arbitrum network through a single transaction. This is a big deal because it usually takes 3 to 4 different transactions, including using an expensive bridge, to perform swaps like this. From what I can tell, this sets NXTP to be used as a money Lego and connect various DeFi applications across different chains. Personally, I have actually used xPollinate a bunch of times, but only recently when working on this video did I find out what actually goes on behind the scenes regarding Connext and their NXTP protocol. It was really interesting to learn about all this, and I hope you guys found it interesting to learn about. If you want to save on gas fees and do quick layer 2 swaps, definitely check out the xPollinate dApp. I'll leave a link in the description. And oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about DeFi tools like xPollinate, we've actually created a DeFi for Beginners guide that's absolutely free to you. You just have to visit whiteboardcrypto.com to check it out. Go grab it and let me know what you think. We've worked really hard on it and want to make it the best guide out there. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. We really hoped you've learned something. And most of all, we hope to see you in our next video.